guys, welcome to my channel. I hope everything is okay in your life. This video series has been prepared for general features of the classes in BDO to be conveyed to you by the Classmasters in an appropriate way. The information contained in this video is limited and will not be a detailed guide. In the content you will meet, there will be an interview about the structure of the class in general. If you have friends around you who have questions about this class, they will probably be able to find general answers. The purpose of interview is to convey the class to you in a short and fun way. First, you will watch official trailer of the class, then we will start chatting with our guests. During the chat, I will add as many images as possible and try to provide you with a better information transfer. I hope you enjoy this content. All these and similar classes will be completed and published in time. If you do not want to miss the moment when they are published, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification button. Enjoy watching. Well, hello. I hope everything is okay, guys. Today's guest is Divios as Striker. Hello, Divios. How are you?
Yo, what's up?
May you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Divios. I'm 21. I've been playing BDO pretty much the entire time. I took a little break like early 2017, but otherwise been playing all the way since the beginning, 2016. And I play on an A server.
Thank you. How did you find BDO? From a friend or website? How you go into MMORPG games? How did you decide to play BDO?
So when I started out, it was around the time where people were talking like Blade and Soul or Black Desert, right? I was kind of Blade and Soul came out a couple months early. I played it for like a week. I was just not a fan. I'm like, I can't play this. It's not for me. And then I wasn't really looking at Black Desert at the time. It was kind of whatever. But some of my friends from a game I used to play called Smite, they were all like, oh, this looks like it could be a lot of fun. So I went in with them and we started playing, and I just kind of fell in love with it. Before this, the only other MMORPG I played was when I was really young. I played Wizard 101. So that's the only other MMO I've played. And then yeah, just I don't know, like the feeling of like the combat in the game just made me just want to just keep playing for, like the whole time. It just felt so like good to play.
Yeah, one of the best and unique mechanics for combat, I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many years have you been playing your class? Is this your first class? Are there any other classes that you started the game with or tried?
So yeah, when I started in 2016, I played Warrior, and I was like a full DP Warrior, and I played Warrior up till again like where I took that break, and then they introduced Striker, and I was like, this is exactly what I want to play. This is awesome. And I main Striker since then, 2017, so like almost like 5.5 years now. And then but I have tagged and like played a lot of classes over the time. So I played Musa for like 1 week. When Shy came out, I actually full re-rolled for like 2 weeks and played Shy. I played Suck Nova for a little while, tagged it. Basically since Sage has come out, it has been my tag where I've played Succession Sage as like my alt character. I like playing that class a lot too. It's like it's super like it's a very different play style than Striker, and it's really fun, kind of like the dynamic of switching between them.
So you have for now Striker as your main and Sage is tagged.
Yeah.
Do you think your class is newbie friendly? How would you rate your class out of 10 in terms of difficulty in PvE and also PvP?
So in PvE, Striker is one of the easiest classes to get into. In Awakening specifically, you can almost press like 3 or 4 buttons for a very decent, good basic combo. And like I compete difficulty in PvE like a 1 out of 10. It's super easy. In PvP, it is very easy to start out on. Like there's like a very easy kind of like basic barrier, but there's also a lot you can get into. Like as you get improve on playing the class over time, you'll see like a lot of different like movement and cool cancels and interesting things you could do once you get better. But that's like PvP starting out, I'd say it's probably like a 3 or a 4 to start out, but then obviously you can make it a lot harder later on for yourself once you understand the game better.
So your Awakening is kind of different than other classes. You have pets. We know them as clones. How would you drive them?
I think the clones are really like it's really cool kind of like aspect to it, because it's kind of just like you grab someone, because the way it plays, you pretty much you're playing a lot of like main hands and just like messing around, and then once you get the catch, then you all of a sudden just all the clones appear and they just start beating you up. Enjoy while the Striker does. It's really fun, like a little dynamic the class has.
So do you prefer Awakening or Succession right now, and why?
So right now I'm pretty much only playing Awakening, mainly the duration. Maybe in PvE I just have always liked Awakening. I've played it so long, 2017. I've just really enjoyed it. And then I tried Succession for a while, and I do love Succession in PvP. I like the like dynamic of how like it is very fast. It is very like kind of it feels very good like when you get like a nice combo going. But the problem is it does not have the damage and the protection to be it played outside of like 1v1. So the main reason I'll swap to Succession is just for 1v1ing. Maybe for 1v1, I'll swap to Succession sometimes. But otherwise, just Awakening is very, very fun and very, very strong.
Okay, let's talk about Awakening PvE. Can you describe your class for early game? How is it?
So in one-shot spots, you're pretty much just you run around, you spiral. There's a lot of just like forward F, normal F, down F, and you just kind of just dash between spots. Mid-game spots, it's kind of like you got pretty basic combo, you kill them. And end-game spots, it's not as good. It's a little worse in like places like Olin's because it runs out of cooldowns. But in every other spot except for like Olin's and Trolls, I think it is one of the best in the game.
So we have the same situation on Awakening Valkyrie. Cooldown problem. All our skills just finish and we have to wait 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. So what about PvP, the big concept for today? Most of we was just waiting those answers. What about 1v1, 1vx, 3 versus 3, I don't know, Solar, 5 versus 5, and large scale Node War and Siege War? May you please describe them?
Yeah, so in 1v1, the only classes Striker really struggles with are the assassin classes, like everyone in NA calls them the rat classes, with mainly the ones with grabs. So like Ninja, Kuno, Lon, Awaken Ranger, things like that. All those type of classes are very difficult for Striker.
What about Tamer?
Tamer as well. Yep, Tamer as well. Like all those type of classes are all very difficult for Striker to deal with because he's too like slow in his animations to really deal with like a fast like engage grab. So he like eventually you just get out. You run out. You get low on stamina. Then you have to stand still to cast something slow, and you get grabbed. In like 1vx and like the kind of like small scale, I think he's like one of the best in the entire game. His E-buff, allowing him to just run around in super armor, gives him time to get stamina back, makes him extremely tanky. And he has a lot of potential where like you CC one person and then his teammates come in to help him and you CC multiple people because of it. With like you'll go in, you'll get like a stun on someone and then his teammate will try to help and you'll knock down both of them with spiral or something. And so like just that combined with being so tanky makes him like extremely strong in small scale fights. In like large scale, like No Wars Siege type situations, he is good and there's roles he has mainly on like flex, would be like dealing with cans or stuff. But you still have like a chance to do something in the big like ball of people, mainly with your ult. So if you can go in, if you knock down some people, maybe your teammates stack with you, then you drop your ultimate. It's just iframe good damage. You can get a bunch of damage off. Maybe you don't get a lot of kills because it does good damage, but most of the time people won't die to it. It does a lot for your team.
I want to add something. If I'm wrong, please say. I can say that Striker, according to my experience, Striker is not that good for newbie on large scale. You should definitely know where you're fighting, who you're fighting against, and you should know your limits, your potential. Then maybe you can make a difference, maybe big difference in the war, because your Striker's skills and mechanics are not enough to make difference easily on sieges and not. Maybe you are. I know you are one of the experienced Striker in the game, and you can go and make a difference. It's war, but I can say and I can give an advice for newbies. Please do not try it for the first year. These kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a class, especially in like uncapped stuff. It requires a lot more gear than like a general like node war class, like a wizard or ranger, stuff like that, because you are all like the entire time you're going in, you're all super armor, you're getting hit by everyone. So yeah, it's definitely a class where you need gear, and you also need like experience of when you can go in and feel safe about it.
Most of time have one bullet chance, and creating these chances is also very hard for newbie player or new reroll player, because you have to read the battlefield. You know everything about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, we already talked, but may you please give a little bit more detail about Succession PV? Why should someone choose Succession PV?
So Succession PV it feels really good. Like it's very kind of rhythmic, where it's pretty much the entire class is about just rotating and just like using like basically going between right click and left click at the right timings. And it is extremely high single target damage even after the nerfs. Those nerfs were very small to that type of playstyle. The one thing is, it is a lot more APM intensive, a lot like faster gameplay when you're playing Succession over Awakening, in both PvE and PvP. And then so it's like any type of single target, or like not too much, like as long as any place you don't need big AoE, Succession PV is extremely good. And the class also just feels really nice to play.
May you please tell me, are they all correct? I think they almost correct. We talk about them. Early game I gave it 5-star. Awakening, Crowded spot 5-star, and you said not that good end game spot, especially Olun, Stroll, and etc. Single target based.
Yep. The Awakening is perfect.
That's why I gave 4-star on it. Mobility is quite nice, and durability, of course. For early game Succession. Yeah. What about Succession?
Yeah, I think the only difference, I'm pretty sure it's exactly that. The only thing I think I'd take like one, I'd basically turn like Awaken mobility down 1 and Succession up 1. because succession is is super fast.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
that's the only thing. Other than that, yeah, it's perfect.
most of people just asking, hey, how you can say Succession is A? I gave A plus for Succession because people just thinking about this. Hey, how can you give A plus to Succession Striker? He is S plus plus tier. How you can make this? But calm down, bro. There are also another spots in this game, an early game and mid game. Not Olin, not Troll, or not Hexa, or whatever you call.
Yeah, at places like Centaurs, Succession Striker is terrible.
Yeah, you
Very
cannot
bad.
grind on that spot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I say Succession Striker for overall A plus, but Awakening is definitely S plus. I can say S plus plus here.
Yeah, no,
Can
it's
say.
good at everything. There's nothing that's like, there's no situation. Like, that's the thing right now. There is no situation in the game where Awakened Striker is just bad. There's places where it's like, it's not the best. Like, it's not near, like, there's a lot of places it's not the best. It's like, it's very average in most things except for, like, and then it excels at, like, one thing for PvE and PvP. So it's like, but it's never bad. It's always just like, it's either pretty good or extremely good. No in between.
Okay, you helped me a lot. I think people will understand now. The experienced guy in the game. He knows Striker better than me and he accepts these are true. Okay, we talk about Succession a lot and you explain in general Succession and Awakening for us. So let's talk about BDO. What do you think about BDO for now, for current situation from past until now? What changed in your eyes?
Yeah, so for me, obviously being mainly like PvP oriented, no wars and siege were a really big thing, and they've kind of tapered down quite a bit. So there's been a lot less no wars and siege, but Arena of Solaire is probably the best thing that I've had fun doing. It's the most fun thing I've done in like 4 years. It is. I play it nonstop every day. It's open. It is actually like my most favorite thing ever. It is so much fun. I have a great time just playing with all like the other like kind of good players, and just it is most fun thing for me.
I definitely
And
agree with you.
yeah, that combined with like honestly like honestly one of the things that bring me like the most fun in the game are just running around. Like I spend a lot of time just like kind of running around on my horse or just even just doing basic stuff and just talking to people. And I really like just like the ideas of like they've had recently with like the T10 unicorn. I think was like it was like something people thought about, and I think it worked out really well. And like I think it's a really cool thing. Obviously it's like unbelievable RNG to get it, but I like that whole system overall. But yes, Solaire and like the horses are definitely like what are keeping me going right now.
Okay, so let's talk about a bit detailed. If you have a chance to add new feature to BDO or change something, what would it be?
Yeah, so the number one thing I'd change is I just feel all these like kind of like old account progression rewards, like hitting level 65, hitting level 66, hitting like the hours played stuff. All these things are so outdated. They don't feel good at all to get. Where before, like at some point maybe they did. The leveling one never did, but the hours one was like okay at one point, but they're all very outdated for this day and age, and they don't feel like anything. It feels like you grind for hundreds of hours, you push 66 and you get 30 health, and you're like, wow, this does nothing. So
I know, I know you.
even if it's like just like a cosmetic or just something to feel good about, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna push level 65, I'm gonna push level 66, and I'm gonna get this like cool thing instead of it just being nothing.
And title and cosmetic, maybe a costume. I don't know, maybe a very good and shine bright title can be good. I can accept that. And maybe they can also give us we talked about that fail stack. They already gave us very high fail stack in the last events. We already have this event in these days. They gave us that fail stack. Maybe they can give us after I touch that 66, they can give me that reward as fail stack 200, 240, 250 win. That's not that much big fail stack because dude, I touched that 66.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, that of time. You touched that 66 a year ago, and what changed on your character? Just tell me.
I gained 35 health, and I gotta, and that's it. And it just doesn't do anything.
So, is there anything feature you want to change something?
So like other things, something to like get new players into Node Wars and Siege, I think could be massive for the game. That's one thing that they never really like helped new players get. There's a lot, and I mean a ton of just kind of like weird and like strange things about just things like building a base, how like flame towers from watches like work, how you want to like use them, cannons, elephants, boats in some situations. All these things are just they're things that like the game never really teaches you about how to use them, and it's a lot of pain for a bunch of people in every guild. They basically at some point in your video, someone will that has had to teach you, has had to be taught, and it's just a whole like it's just something that you always start losing people on. There's really not many new players who are like, yeah, I'm all about base building. So I just think it's something to get people more into like No Wars and Siege and the mechanics behind them. I think would be best. Either even if it was like some kind of like introduction, or like I know people have said it in the past, but and like I thought about it too. Just like if it was like an RBF where it was like a Node War Siege that you could queue up into. Obviously, your teammates would be terrible because it's like just queued up. But just like you'd be something where you'd learn the mechanics of Siege and Node Wars while just like PvPing in general, just to get people more like accustomed to stuff like that.
So what are your advices for newbie or returnee or whoever wants to reroll Striker?
So the one thing is Striker since rework has changed changed a lot, like so much. There's a ton of things. There's a lot of like kind of weird and strange like interactions, weird like kind of routes to get to abilities. Just practicing, just like gain a lot of like the use of it in PvE will help you a lot. Just like gain used to the feel of it. Just have fun with it. I don't know. Have fun with the game. Making sure that's the number. That should be the number one priority for everyone in the games, man. You just if you're not, make sure you have fun with it. Just chilling. Don't get too stressed out if you're not doing the best you can. Don't be discouraged. Just keep going at it.
We are coming towards the end of interview, and is there anything you would like to add this interview?
I started in the last like month or so. I started streaming. Before now, I haven't really been down to stream, but I've been trying it out. It's been having a good time. Doing a lot of like Arena of Solaire and stuff, and that's just at twitch.tv/Divios.
Okay, guys, you should definitely visit his streams and YouTube channel. If you have any question, probably he will answer on your Twitch, don't you? And I want to say thank you to Divios, one of the best strikers in the game and all around the world. He shared information, all the experience to us, to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Alright guys, do not forget, BDO is just a game. Have a nice game.